Hey, it's your girl, the It Girl, Maya World, and you are drinking at Mo's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're finishing filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Mo's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. Welcome, Drinking at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the ass. Most places can find audio podcasts too, most of the major ones anyways. Today, I'm excited to have with me Maya World. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I got a pretty big month coming up.
That's good.
Both for the podcast and outside of it. AEW's coming to town for the first time, and I got third row right behind the announce desk.
That's going to be fun.
This thing will be right with me, so I'll be plainly visible. I'm excited. And then later on that month, I got another show I'm going to for Sami Callihan's promotion, Wrestling Revolver, that they've made a couple stops down there in Texas. They make stops next state over in Des Moines, Iowa from me, so I try to go whenever I can. All in all, not a shabby month. I can't complain. So before we get too deep into a tangent, thing I like to start off with everybody. What got you started as a fan, and then what had you make the decision to make the leap into the business?
I started watching it with my brother. I tell a story. He was watching it one day, and I just remember walking in on it. And I remember I walked in. I forget if it was a Raw or SmackDown. I still haven't done the research. But I remember it was like Undertaker coming out of a casket. I think it was his feud with Randy Orton. So I think SmackDown. I can't remember. But from there, I just kept watching with him, and then finally I saw some divas. And I always thought they were the coolest things. But at that point, I've seen them. I loved watching them. I loved Kelly, Mickey James, Lucia Fox, those type of women. But I still didn't want to be a wrestler. I just loved watching it. I played a lot of sports outside of it. So, I was more focused on those. High school came, it kind of got away from me a little bit. And then 2015, middle school. And then 2015 was just when I went into my freshman year. I saw, Sasha Banks, and that's when I wanted to become a wrestler, when I saw her. And just that evolution that they brought, the NXT, the Four Horsewomen, that really made me want to be a wrestler. From then, I still wasn't quite all the way there yet, so I played basketball, and I ended up going to college for basketball, and then that just didn't work out for me. So I was like, okay, it's time. I've been putting it off for the longest, and I finally started training in 2021.
All right. Yeah, I always am a little jealous of some people when they tell me their stories of how they got started being a fan, because for me, other than sometimes in middle school and high school, it was pretty much myself being the lone wrestling fan in the house.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, okay, but my parents were like, you know what? It makes him happy. He's staying out of trouble. Let him be. And then I like a lot. Go ahead.
Sorry. That's kind of how I was. I really don't remember talking about wrestling a lot out loud, unless it's to my brother and my family. But that was when Twitter was heavy with wrestling fans, and I actually became like I made friends from Twitter, like on from wrestling. Actually, one of the friends, she moved to Texas to go to UT Arlington for college, and we actually started together. She like the one who showed me the wrestling school. So yeah, I didn't have a lot of outside friends that liked wrestling either until like I found Twitter.
Yeah, for me, it was when I got into the Navy and I got stationed in San Diego and ended up just Googling pro wrestling in San Diego. And now I still keep in touch with a lot of the wrestlers down there. So
That's dope.
it was like I consider that area kind of like my second home because hell, I was there for 4 years.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh yeah. Now I like hearing about how people come up with their in-ring personas because you know I know the first little bit it can be kind of the feeling out process, figuring out what works, what isn't, and what you're going to stick with. How did you come about yours?
I feel like I still am kind of in that what's gonna stick era because I've
Yeah.
only been doing it for like a year and a half. I just know I gotta take a lot of inspiration from like pop culture. A lot of people say they see a lot of such things in my attitude, but I don't really see it. That's just how I am in real life. But yeah, just a lot of pop culture and a lot of like pop stars and like even rap, like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Taking little bits from your outside interests and molding it into your, I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Now, we got set up for this by Matthew Palmer of MPX. I've
yeah.
met him a handful of times actually up here at one of those Revolver Des Moines stops. And
Mhm.
they got a pretty big show coming up. June 15th, the Purge. And I, the other week, recorded with Demo Diamond. And I'm still getting acclimated to some of the new shows that I've been seeing from MPX. And then he was explaining the Purge, and I'm like, oh, damn, man, you're making me wish I could be there for that
Yeah,
because that's like right up my alley.
it's dope. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to for the night? Because it's literally like WWE used to have with Extreme Rules, where every match was like that. Now,
Yeah.
not so much. But what are you looking forward to with that night?
I'm very excited. I actually have a match with Athena, which is a rematch of mine from Ring of Honor. Yeah, I'm so excited because after our match at Ring of Honor, actually, she raised my hand. I thought we were having a little respect moment, and then she like blindsided me and punched me. So this is just gonna be like my revenge from that.
Uh,
I didn't know how soon it come, but I'm glad June 15th I'm getting back in the ring with her.
Ooh, that is gonna be a good one. I've got to meet Athena on one occasion for my friends out at Warrior Wrestling, based out of Chicago, and that was a fun night. But now that I was looking back, and I'm like, holy crap! I remember watching that match
Oh, really?
at Ring of Honor, and because I remember hearing on the commentary that like, oh, the show of respect, and then the bam, kind
Yeah.
of kind of that mean streak that her character has been having in Ring of Honor at that point, you know, that little peak of, oh my god, and then bam.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
do you know like specifics on like what, like, are you guys, because the whole night's just themed after every match being, no rules, or you guys having like a specific match, or is it just going to be like all the matches just anything goes?
I'm actually not even sure yet. I just know it's a one-on-one right now. I mean, as it builds up to it more, it might get a stipulation. I'm really not sure what's gonna happen. But I mean, hopefully, DQ. That's always fun.
Oh, I can imagine because especially with the little added thing of getting your revenge from the whole Ring of Honor spot, that would be a good way to do it because no excuses then.
Right.
Now the show itself is at an arena that I know the last show that I watched from there, at least the Mecca, and I remember watching a little funny talking about Revolver again, but that's where I remember seeing it. I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
that place looks like it'd be a fun place to have a show.
Yeah. Yeah. They had a show there at the Epic again, like March or February or March. It was St. Patrick's Day. And I went and I remember watching the women's championship match and I was like, dang, like I really want to do like anything I can do to get on the next show because it's such an amazing venue and the crowd's always packed. I never imagined that I'd be on the literally next one against Athena, but thankfully I am. So I'm really excited. I've always wanted to wrestle there.
Man, I know what is it live? It's going to be on the Twitch channel, but then get released later on YouTube. I might have to re-download Twitch so I can watch that damn one live because
definitely.
it's everything that I've been seeing from social media and everybody getting ready. I'm like, man, I'm gonna need to help. I had a little, yeah. All right, so I just was thinking that after getting everything explained by Demo Diamond, I'm like, man, you got me hooked on that explanation because like me being the fan of the hardcore and hell, I developed a little bit of following in the deathmatch community. That sort of a night is just like my cup of tea right there.
It's gonna be crazy. Plus, we got Max the Impaler coming, and that's in itself is something I tune in for.
Oh yeah, and then I hear that there is another match that night with a guy that the promotion is actually starting back up, and I've actually been to a show here in Omaha for it. But the Carver,
yes, the Carver and Sky de la Cremosa.
Yeah,
As soon I met Sky the first time when I first started, and I was actually very scared of him. He's actually one of the scariest people just to see live because also it's like freaking 6'10" or something. I don't even know, but he's so tall and so scary. And I know that match in itself is gonna be crazy also.
Oh yeah, he known here in my neck of the woods in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was a little bummed out about this part because he was supposed to have a no rope barbed wire match against one of my good friends, and then for his promotion, he ended up the night before almost getting impaled by a light tube and couldn't do that match that night. But everything that you said about him,
yeah,
every bit of it.
Very scary and intimidating.
Oh yeah, when he the whole Carver get up and he's out there, oh man, you hear about those people that once their music hits and they're through that curtain, that it's just like boom, and you can just sense that they are like fully in. That is every bit him.
Definitely.
And then hell, he mentioned Max the Impaler. That's going to be insane. And well, I was just thinking about this. Carver's opponent that night, he is my other person that I got set up with for an interview like next week. So I'm like, ooh,
That's gonna be a fun one.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a fun one getting to talk to him about that one.
Definitely.
And I've yet to actually see Maxley and Taylor live, but I've watched her or them on uh, different shows for my friends at Warrior Wrestling and all over the place, really. And whoo, they can go.
For real. I that's one of my dream matches. I would love to wrestle them.
Oh yeah. And then, correct me if I'm wrong. There was a show this last weekend. I'm wanting to say it was through MPX, but the gender reveal party thing.
Oh yeah, that was demos. Yeah.
That when I was seeing the event poster thing they had made up, I'm like, you know what? That is a unique way to do that.
Yeah, I love that.
Like I've seen other types of similar things where there's been videos of it where they do a short little match and one guy's for the girl, the boy, and then whoever wins, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But a whole event around it where it was almost like those when they have the brand versus brand shows on WWE where it's like, oh, whichever team, I think it was bragging rights actually, where like they would, whichever team won the most matches, like won something.
Yeah.
And then this one being, whichever team won the most matches, that was what the gender is. And I'm like, you know what? That would be something that I would want to do that I had never thought about it before.
It was super fun to be there. I was supposed to wrestle my friend, but the night before I just got a little knee injury at West Coast Pro Wrestling. But it's fine. It was super fun. I still got to be there. Got to actually hit Sky De La Cremosa with my crutch.
Ah.
So we're still friends. I think I ran from him, so I don't know if I don't know what he thinks about that. But yeah, that was super fun night to be a part of.
Oh, I can imagine. Like I've seen the pictures and stuff. I'm like, man, MPX coming and doing some stuff. And I'm like, damn it, make me wish I were down there.
Yeah, I was team boy. Fortunately, we lost. It was a girl, but it's fine.
No, yeah, no. The parents probably happy as hell, and that's what the whole event was for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we talked a little bit about Ring of Honor and the situation with Athena. What was it? I think you had one other match that I saw that was Queen Nominata, was it?
Oh yeah, Queen Nominata, yes.
How was that experience with that match? And well, your experience really in Ring of Honor as a whole, because I've talked with a few people that through AEW Dark, Ring of Honor, and all that have been brought in and used for a match, and heard their experience. What was yours like?
Yeah, so I wrestled Athena in a Proving Grounds match. It was a super dope experience just to be in there with her and in my hometown, which I was super nervous. But when I got walked to the ring, I realized a lot of people were like calling my name because they knew who I was. Sorry. And so like the nerves went away quickly. And then it was just like now you're across the ring from one of the best in the world. Like try to stay in there 10 minutes or try to win. I mean, it was super fun for the experience I got to have, but like I said, I'm ready for a rematch because I don't think I got to show exactly what I wanted to show, even though after that I got a lot of buzz and a lot of eyes on me, which was super, super dope. After the match, actually, Tony loved what he saw from me. So he was like, hey, that was super good. Like, you're super great. Can you come back the next week? Which is how I got to come back the next week and face Amanada. So that was super dope. Like, I I get chills thinking about it still. But he himself was like, "Yeah, come back next week." And then I got that match with Amanado, that was also just at that time Amanada was just coming back, so she was getting a lot of buzz, and it was one of her first matches back before she started going on her little run. So that was just dope to like help start that off, and that was another hard hitting match. Amanada's probably one of the hardest hitting in all of the indies. Well, now she signed, so in all of wrestling. So yeah, the whole experience was so dope and fun. I got to go back again. I didn't get a match that time, unfortunately, but they'll be back. They have a whole residency coming up, so hopefully I can go back.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole set of shows they got coming up, leading up to the next Wembley show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got. God dang! I was trying to remember how many they got because
like 6, I think. It's a lot. It's like a whole month.
Yeah, I was wanting to say there's quite a few. They even got Death Before Dishonor for Ring of Honor during that time too. So yeah, a lot of a lot of chances right there to get in the mix.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, I bet. Now, another match that I was wanting to talk to you about because I've got to meet one of the participants, and it was your scramble match at GCW for the Culture.
Yeah.
And the person that I got to meet was actually Janai Kai, and that was a cool experience. And trying to remember what her match was that night, I'd have to go back and rewatch the show. But what was that like? Because I like to say that for the bigger indie shows, nobody does a scramble match quite like there's GCW and Revolver. They like scramble matches for them. It's like those two places just know how to put together a good one.
Right. Yeah, that was super fun. Janai was actually in my match. It was her. So Janai Kai, me, Jada Stone, Jocelyn Navarro, Tiara James, Maserati. That's it, I think. Yeah, it was all this. That was dope. I've always wanted to be on For the Culture. So my first Mania weekend, I got picked to be in that scramble, and I was so excited about that. Like I said, like all those women, they're like all over the world killing it. So I'm just glad I got to be a part of it and be amongst those names, which that booking got a lot of eyes on me as well. So it was super fun.
Oh yeah, and For the Culture has been quickly becoming one of the highlights of whenever GCW puts on the Collective.
Yeah,
there's a few shows that seem to be like the highlights of that whole week. For the Culture being one of them. I believe Effie's Big Gay Brunch is another one that seems to always be a fun time. And I don't, did they do it this? But Joey Janela's Spring Break.
Oh yeah, they did. It was right before For the Culture, actually.
Because I'm wanting to say that was a part of, they had the clusterfuck.
Oh yeah, they did have that also.
And that, I remember watching that and like, okay, this is fun. Like
it was so fun. They had that right after night 1 of Mania. I went after I watched Mania. It was so fun just being there live.
Oh man, I bet. Because I have said it a few times that I've always wanted to go to a GCW show, but I think the closest they've ever come to me is St. Louis. Mm-hmm. But I've wanted to be there when maybe this is the deathmatch fan in me talking, but when Nick Gage is on the show, because I see like literally the moment that music hits, that whole venue looks like it's turning into a giant fucking mosh pit. And I'm like, oh, I want to be there.
Yeah, I got a shirt whenever I was at GW because he's so dope. He's so funny also, but yeah, I love Nick Gage.
I've heard he, in front of the camera, intense, ready to go. And he's like almost quite the opposite behind the camera. Not in a bad way, just he seems very soft spoken from everything that everybody told.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, I still I've talked with John Wayne Murdoch. I've had Alex Cologne on, and I'm just like, God dang, I want to get to one of these damn shows. Like, I know they've announced one of their deathmatch tournaments where I'm like, oh God, I wish I knew if I could be there. All right.
Yeah.
Now, you've also, I believe it was only one match, but a friend of mine actually started the promotion. Black Wrestlers Matter.
Oh yeah.
John West.
Mhm.
And that is turning into, I don't believe they've ran too recently, but it always produces a lot of hype, I guess. Like, a lot of people really looking forward to every time because, good Lord, the names that get brought in and just really showing what the African American community can do, because while there is people like Swerve right now with AEW, and sometimes people have thought that they don't get highlighted the way that a lot of people think they should.
Mhm.
What was that show like for you? Getting to showcase out there.
Oh, I was very excited. I was part of the Black Girls Wrestle portion of it. I got to wrestle to be the inaugural champion. And I'm actually going back to Florida for that in, I think, September it is. So yeah, that was also dope to be a part of that. To be a part of it. I mean, I love being a part of all Black shows. Just everyone who comes out, just supporting the culture. So yeah, that was super dope also.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely knows how to pick a good solid group to put on a show.
For sure.
I think last time I met him was at the Revolver show, and I didn't even see that he was there. He just walked up, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Because he lives in the area, and well, my dog wanted to join me, so I feel bad when I leave him upstairs by himself. But all right, now I have two categories. One's a name game where I name off some people and you give quick thoughts on the person.
Okay.
And each of these, I try to theme towards the guest as much as possible. And with you, I figured, I was thinking, who would I see her and them being like a match that I would definitely want to see?
Right.
First off, person that I've actually had on the show before, and she's working right along with Athena in
Yeah.
Ring of Honor. Billy Starks.
Oh, Billy. I mean, I love Billy. She's a really good friend of mine. Definitely a dream match of mine. She's been at the top of every time I've listened to this one promoter who always tries to give me matches that will elevate me. She's at the top of that list. She's at the top of mostly every dream match list of mine. So definitely someone I want to face in the future.
Oh yeah, I loved having her on, and I got to see her in a scramble match, and man, that literally her already accomplishing what she has at such a young age. I've had the talk before, just thinking of where she could end up when she starts thinking about retirement.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, next one of my personal favorites right now, and she kind of made a short little cameo in my episode with her boyfriend Akira, Masha Slamovich.
Masha, she's also on my dream match list. I love watching her. She's so like quick and fast and intense also, and she's definitely someone I want to face. She's super nice. I've met her a few times. I met her at Spark Joshi and Mania weekend, and she's just one of the best in the world. So definitely want to face her.
Oh yeah, like I remember seeing her. It was I think they called it elimination games, where it was basically war games without the cage, and he teamed up with the Second Gear crew that night. And if that tells you anything about how crazy that match ended up being, yeah, because I've joked with those guys before that their matches might as well be sponsored by Home Depot. And she came out with a bundle of light tubes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, like I don't know. Light tubes, it's like I've been to a no ring deathmatch show, and let's just say thankful I was wearing closed-toed shoes because the metal connector end flew off and hit me in the foot.
Yeah, those shows are definitely crazy. Definitely make sure you're wearing closed shoes and be like in the back row.
Yeah, I got one out of the two.
Okay.
I got one out of the two. I was wearing the closed-toed shoes, but I was like right up front.
Yeah, I know. They be diving, glass going everywhere, debris from like tables. You got to be like at least in the middle.
I can definitely see that, because that same show I ended up winning a raffle for a event used item signed by everybody that was on the show.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I won until Carver comes up and hands me half a door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it was intense. All right, now another person that I actually had the pleasure of meeting one time, and I'm excited that what I'm getting to see from her in AEW right now, Deonna Purrazzo.
Mm-hmm. Deonna Purrazzo. I love her. I love her style. The virtuosa. I mean, her style, like her gear style, but also the virtuosa. She is all of those things. She is like a powerhouse, technical. She shows her athleticism time to time, like, and I just love that because that's kind of what I want to mold myself into being one day, a virtuosa. Just doing all the different styles, even if it's like strong style or UK strong style. So yeah, she's definitely someone I actually do watch a few of her matches because I just love how she incorporates all her different styles into one match.
Oh yeah, like I remember watching. I'm forgetting if it was Collision or Rampage this last weekend, and yeah, she was putting on display that very, very much. And the submission game that she's able to do, and she's able to pull off other stuff. There's a reason she's been one of the top female wrestlers out there for a while.
Yeah, she is.
All right. Another person, I haven't got to meet her yet, but I'm definitely, since she's joined forces with Julia Hart, the attitude definitely brings about an intensity. I'm talking about Sky Blue.
Yeah. Sky Blue. She is definitely one of the best young wrestlers going today. I feel like every time I see her on AEW or Rampage or Collision, whatever, she's having one of the best matches of the night. So, I mean, I want to wrestle her, but I want to wrestle her on AEW TV because she goes out there and she puts on some of the best matches, women's matches they have all together.
Oh yeah, and like there's the thing that I gravitate towards with a lot of my favorites in wrestling, is gravitating towards those intense personalities. And since this shift in attitude that her in-ring personas had, she definitely has that, and you just see it in her eyes when she's walking to the ring, this intensity that I'm not saying it wasn't there before. It just seems like it's been brought out a little more.
Mm.
All right. Now I have some random questions. Some might be wrestling related. Some might not be. Some might have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about.
Okay.
So I give you the question. You give me first answer that pops into your head.
Got you.
First one, craziest in-match moment for you.
Oh, craziest in-match moment. Probably. Dang, have I had any crazy moments yet? I can't think.
It can be hard to choose sometimes.
I'm thinking. Well, I say this, but it really wasn't even including me, but I was in the match, so whatever. I did a match just recently at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. It was a ladder match. And one of the participants like speared the other participant off of the ladder, and that was crazy to me. It's probably the craziest moment I've been a part of.
Reminiscent of what was it, Edge spearing Jeff Hardy in that one WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That would be understandable, that being on top. I know for me, literally, I mean, we talked a little bit about them, but literally all I got to say is Second Gear Crew. You go and watch one of their matches, and I know now they're kind of split up, but literally you go and watch one of their matches and it's just like craziness, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like both times I've seen them all together, Matthew Justice ended up jumping off a scaffold. Like, you crazy son of a bitch.
Literally so crazy.
All right. Now, behind me, I got displayed some of my hobbies, wrestling figures. I love getting them signed if I can. But my question for you, any hobbies you have, if any, because I know wrestling can take up a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm still a big basketball fan. I like to play it from time to time. Other than that, I like video editing, which is so weird. It's not weird. It's like I just like putting together and like producing things. My videos, all of my Instagram are like just match highlights, but I like to put them together in like a cool way that like tells the story throughout the match. So yeah, that's probably the one thing. Because just recently, wrestling has been consuming everything, like you said. So like, I barely have anything hobbies outside of wrestling unless it's like watching sports, basketball, football. I watch all those, but in wrestling, like video editing and just helping people put like highlight reels together and stuff.
Oh yeah, hell, the whole video editing thing that can definitely even help with getting bookings, because like if they for some reason need help on that particular night with this or that, and then they remember you from that, and then boom.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of being versatile, I guess, would be the right way to put it.
Yeah.
All right. Now I would feel weird not having this question in here with the name of a show like I have. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, or one of each, because I always like to say, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic.
Right. I definitely was like, I don't know if I have one, but I know I do because after every show, after every match I go to, especially if it's at a bar, but my home show, they have a bar. So I love getting Shirley Temples after my match.
Okay.
But those are my favorite. I literally get them every match. I have to have one after every match.
Hey, they can be quite refreshing.
Very much
especially
so.
after working up a sweat in your match, I'd imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend myself.
I know a lot
And,
of people that are.
oh, yeah. Oh, God. My wife likes to joke with me saying that I have a problem. I'm like, as long as I got some, I got it figured out.
Yeah.
And then, alcoholic, I'm like, I don't drink like I did when I was in the Navy, but I do every once in a while like to have a few beers.
Yeah. I get that.
All right. Now, last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Um, I always say the best advice is just to find a good school in your area. Find like do the research on them, see like who they've produced, who's came out of those schools, like um just to see if they're legit. My coach just told me about so many like scams that people go
Mm.
through. So just see who's legit, see who's producing like the best of the best in your area in that region. And then just do what's best for you.
Oh, yeah. And, that brings up a good point, looking in your area, because literally it seems like now just about every part of the country has at least one reputable school in the area. I know, hell, Southern California, my second home, has quite a few.
They have a lot, yeah.
And, Midwest, Nebraska, Iowa, we got a few. And shit, going into Chicago and Ohio and everything, they got a bunch. Texas has got a bunch. Florida, so like literally any part of the country you're in, if you do your homework, you'll find something close.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, there are those out there that, I've definitely heard the stories of it basically being a take your money and run sort of thing. So yeah, definitely want to look out for those and just do your homework, basically.
Definitely.
All right. Before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
My Instagram is at It's Maya World with two D's at the end. The Twitter is the same thing at It's Maya World, and then Facebook is just Maya World. I also have a YouTube. It's Maya World Official that I post like matches and stuff. And I say I'm gonna start vlogging, but I'm really not good at it. But I'm gonna try because now that I'm like traveling more and going a lot more places, and I feel like I'm just sitting there, and I feel like I could be vlogging the fun times I'm having instead of just like not. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
No, yep, no, I'll look forward to it. I try to event vlog on the ones that I go to. I kind of have fun with it. Try to see how many of the particular people on the card want to jump in and just being my goofball self.
Yeah.
So it can be fun.
It can be. I know I've seen some people's vlogs and I'm like, they make it look so fun. Like, let me try to do it. And I tried. Once I tried whenever I had a show in Cali and I just forgot. Like I was doing it in the airport and then I get there and I forget everything. And it's not like I was just like not doing anything in Cali. Like I went to the Hollywood sign. I went to like Roscoe, Chicken Waffles. I went to so many places and then just forgot to record everything.
Yeah, it can definitely be one of those things. I know I had to stop one show because my phone almost died because I was using it so damn much.
Yeah.
But we will get all of that information in the description. But that is about it. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. We will have this out before the 15th. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that show. I will be watching live. I can't wait.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.